stay in your lane. Yeah, we get a little homie, you been getting some brain. Rapping about how you smoking weed like a chain, but I gotta be the one to throw the industry shade. Told you I've been fed up, get your bread up, you don't drop shit. Dropping so much fire, 2018, it's obnoxious. Put me on the 16, watch the numbers rise. Just went from the bubble to the top.
You are now tuned into the Dads Who Lift podcast. You have your host, Tyler Gaeta, and I have co-host and podcast manager here with me, Mr.
Josh Horseman.
So we got some crazy shit going on right now, Russia and Ukraine, right?
World War III, anybody?
I hope not, man. I certainly hope not. So I don't really know. I need to get more. I just did a little bit of research right before this podcast. Not enough to speak on it. Definitely not enough to speak on it. But a little bit of research right before this podcast about what the fuck's going on. And it seems to me like Russia wants Ukraine's land, very resourceful land, very good land, and Russia's kind of fucked with what they have, so they want to steal Ukraine's shit. And there's also Chernobyl and all that good stuff that's on there as well that Russia wants. But I also saw some other stuff about how this is not even about Russia and Ukraine, and that our government is trying to blow this up into a World War III so they can hide all the sneaky shit that they're doing right now, which I could definitely see that happening too. So I'm going to have to do some more research. I won't ever speak on anything that I don't know about.
And Biden's about to speak in like 20 minutes from now.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, you can't believe anything that comes out of that motherfucker's mouth.
I'm just saying there'll be more information by the time this podcast airs tomorrow.
Right. But I still, I would say all that is probably bullshit.
Right.
Probably not real anyways. So that's not where I get my research. It's not by listening to Biden.
Puppet Biden.
Yeah, no. So, but yeah, pretty crazy, man. I hope to God that we do not go into a World War III. I mean, that is some bad shit. And I know we're tough, man. I know we're beasting up. We're tough, but I don't think we want to fuck with Russia, man. I don't think we want to do that. All these lives that would be lost, and not a good thing at all. So, but anyways, this has been I'm sorry, you're tuned into the Dads Who Live podcast. I always keep forgetting to do the intro. We always roll right in now. So we do this shit for free, guys. If you get if you get anything valuable out of this, I'm jumping ahead of myself. We do this shit for free. If you get anything valuable out of this, please give us a like, share, 5-star review. Right? That's our fee, right? We do this shit for free, but if you can help us, we help you. We add some value. We give you a different perspective change, give you a laugh, something like that. Give us a like, share, 5-star review. You tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing. Give us a share on Instagram. Give us a share on Apple Podcasts. Give us a share on YouTube, whatever it is. We really appreciate it. We're on all platforms. So we have podcast platforms are on our website. We also have Badass Apparel. I actually have an OG hoodie on right now. Josh has a new King sweatshirt on right now. I have one of the new hats on. All the apparel's on www.dadswholifapparel.com. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Apparel. We're on Facebook as Dads Who Lift Podcast. And we have a Facebook group of 53,000 like-minded dads trying to be their best selves and stay fit at the same time. If that's something that interests you, check out the group on Facebook. It's called Dads Who Lift Official. So, we got the crazy shit going on with hopefully there's not a World War III. It's fucking snowing here today.
And it's really cold.
Really fucking cold. Super cold. My balls and my wiener are shriveled up. Not gonna
Whatever
lie.
he has to tell himself,
Yeah, it's only right now. Usually it's huge.
Same.
Yeah, right.
Wink.
But no, thank God we get the snow, man, because
right. Yep.
So for those of you that don't know, I own multiple companies, but one of my main companies is a Lawn Snow landscape company. And here in town in Omaha, Nebraska, we've had no fucking snow this year. Like none.
Which is rare.
Yeah, like rare. Excuse me. And we make a shitload of money doing snow removal. And this year we ain't making that much money doing snow removal. So we got to go out the other night and salt. It's supposed to snow today. It actually just started snowing. I'm actually looking outside now. So fucking let it snow, man. Bring on the money.
Let it snow.
Bring on the money.
See dollar signs snowing.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, no, it snows money for sure.
Yep.
What I wanted to get into today, this actually comes from an idea that I was talking to my old buddy Joel Staley about. Joel Staley started the Dads Who Live group with me. He used to be my co-host on the podcast. He just had twins, so he doesn't have the time to invest in it anymore. But the concept is, and this may not be the longest podcast in the world, but it's going to be very powerful. So just listen, right? And really think about this and really get this and really look into this and see how it reflects on your life. Okay. Every single person, how do we say what is good and what's bad? Like, how do we say what we're doing is good or bad, right? How do we know if we're in line, right? And what it comes down to is every single person. So like, how do I know if I'm successful, right? How do I know if like, you know, I have enough money? How do I know if, you know, my business is profitable? How do I know if my business is profitable enough? How do I know if I'm a successful player in the world? How do I know if I'm a successful player in my life? How do I know if I'm a successful father, right? Even without money, how do I know I'm a good businessman? How do I know I'm a good boss? How do I know I'm a good leader? How do I know I'm a good father, right? How we know these things, and every single person does it without even thinking about it, is we compare ourselves to others. And that's how we come up with this value, right? And we always value ourselves. Like, I value myself without anybody else's opinion. I love myself. I've developed this for years. It wasn't always that way, but I've come to a point to where I know who I am. I'm you know, comfortable with myself. I love myself. So no matter what, if everybody says, "Hey, go fuck yourself," I still know who I am, what I have to offer, and who I am as an individual. But even with that being said, there's still certain things that I value based on what others are doing. And every single person in the world does this, regardless of what the fuck they say. I don't care who they are or what they say. Even people that coach me, like Andy Versell and Ed Milet, do the exact same thing. Even Ed Milet will say, "Hey, you're closer to me than I am to the people above me," right? So Ed Milet's worth like $500 million or something like that. The guys that he sits at the table with are billionaires, worth billions of dollars. So he's like, "Hey, you're only 500 million away, or 498 million, or 492 million away from me, but I'm 5 billion away from this guy next to me at the table," right? So you're closer to me than I am to them, right? And so every single person does this. And what really matters with this, and why it's important of why I'm bringing this up, is because, all right, let me tell you guys a little story. So I used to have this friend, and this friend has changed. This friend is no longer like this, but I used to have this friend, and I've actually said parts of this story before on the podcast, like probably last year, a long time ago. But I used to have this friend that would not run his life the way that he wanted it ran, and he would do things that he knew did not align with who he was as a person or what he wanted in his life, but everybody else around him was worse. All of his friends were worse. So what he would do is he would constantly say, "Yeah, I know that wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad as what Tom did. I'm the best one out of the group. I'm not that bad because I'm the best one out of the group. I'm not that bad because, you know, Tom did this. I only did that." Right? So he knew that he was not living the life that he wanted to live, and he knew that he was not, you know, giving his full potential, but he would co-sign his own bullshit and be okay with it because of who he surrounded himself with. And what that is on this topic that I'm talking about, and what it compares to, is his value system on who he was comparing where he's at with, checks and balances. They were all shit people. And I'm not trying to have another podcast just about who we keep around who we keep in our lives, which, even though that is a big part of this, because we've already had those podcasts. But the way that I'm presenting this today is a little bit different, because it's not just about who do we keep around ourselves and in our circles, right? They always say you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? If you have 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th. If you have 5 crackheads, you'll be the 6th, right? And I completely agree on that. But what I'm talking about is a perspective. If we know that we base ourselves and how we're doing in life on who we surround ourselves with, and that affects what we think about ourselves and how we perform and the choices that we make, isn't it that much more important to surround ourselves with positive, good, influencing people? Because if I sit here, so even say I don't surround myself with crackheads, right? But say I'm worth, let's just throw out some numbers here, right? Say I do $2 million a year in sales, right? All my buddies, they're all good guys. They have good morals and values, and you know, they're fathers. They're good fathers. Nobody's perfect. But let's say they all make $500,000 a year in sales, right? So I'm the big guy on the block, right? And that's all I see. That's all I talk to. I feel grandiose all the time. I feel like, man, I made it, right? I don't ever have to try to strive for more because I'm always the big guy on the block, right? Now you add in, say we get another friend that comes into the circle and that friend makes $4 million a year, right? No longer am I the big guy on the block. Now all of a sudden I'm sitting there going, fuck, how do I make $4 million a year? How do I do this, right? So it's constantly making us level up. It's constantly making us want to achieve more. It's constantly making us grow, right? And this is the same thing for money, right? Like, so say this is the same thing for everything else that's like, it's not only money is what I meant to say. It's not just money. This works for everything in your life, right? So say morals and values. Say you have really strong morals and values. You believe that things need to be done the right way, and you believe that this is right, this is right, this is right, and this isn't right, right? But then you surround yourself with guys that have gray area, right? And they have gray area in between what you think is right and what you think is wrong, okay? And so what'll happen through time, this doesn't happen overnight, but through time, all of them, hey man, these 5 guys think that's all right. That's kind of in the gray area. I don't think that's okay, but these guys all think it is. You're going to start sliding into that gray area yourself, right? Now, say you add another guy into the group that comes in and he has your black and white. You're strict, like, hey, this is right and this is wrong type mentality, and same morals and values as you. And he comes into the group and he's like, no, man, I don't do that shit. No, that's not all right with me. No, that's not okay for me and my family. Then all of a sudden you're back to like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. No, I don't think it's all right either. You know? So who we surround ourselves with and who we compare ourselves to influence us, influence our decisions, influences the way we think, influences everything to do in our life and the choices we make. And another thing that's even outside of this is this comparing thing, right? I always want to be the smallest guy in a group, right? I want every single person that's in my circle to have something that I don't yet have, right? They might not all have the money. They might not all have everything, but this guy might be a better father than me, right? Let's just be real. This guy might be a better father. This guy might be a husband and has an amazing relationship that I don't have. This guy might have more money than me. Maybe this guy has more toys than me. Right? Maybe this guy loves his career. Maybe this guy doesn't go to work every day because he loves what he does, right? Every single person that I surround myself with has something that I want. And that allows me to always level up to get those things that I want. Now, another way that you can look at this too, or another way that you can go about this, a lot of people like, if your circle's real small or you just don't have those people around you yet that you found, find somebody that you can look up to. Right? Like one person that I really, really, really look up to, and he coaches me as well, is Andy Frisella. He's one of my biggest mentors. Arete Syndicate, First Form. He's a fucking killer, man. And so I can look at what he's doing, and it makes me feel tiny. Right? But that's not a bad thing. People want to live in this grandiose lifestyle, in this grandiose society, but that's fake, and that keeps you where you are. That keeps you complacent. So when I'm the big fish in my group and everybody around me is making $500,000 and I'm making $2 million, I don't ever grow. I don't ever expand. I stay exactly where I am, right? And I'm probably a fucking asshole too because I feel like I'm the best thing on the planet, right? But even say I don't even change that circle. Say I start comparing my success instead of comparing it to my 5 buddies. I start comparing my success to Andy Frisella. Now I'm a fucking drop in the bucket. That guy's got hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Probably worth billions if he were to sell First Form. That's a drop in the bucket. So when I start comparing my success to that, then I feel like the little guy on the block. I feel like, an ant just starting. But that's okay. That doesn't affect my self-worth. I still love myself. I still know who I am as a man, as an individual. I still know what I have to offer. But I feel like I'm always on the ground floor and just starting, and that allows me to push harder, to strive for more, to never settle, to have no compromise. That allows me to do the things that other people don't do to get the life that other people don't have. That allows me to, instead of saying, all right, well, my 5 buddies are here, drinking beer every weekend, what would Andy Frisella be doing? Well, he ain't out fucking partying, drinking beer. I'll guarantee you that. He's doing 75 hard. He's not fucking drinking. He's working. He's going towards his goals and his ambitions. He's doing his power list, which I have Winter Circle, but he's doing his power list every fucking day. If I want to have the life that he's got, that's the way that I need to live, right? So the big thing here is every single person compares their success off of somebody else's success. Monetary, parenting, relationships, whatever it may be. Make sure that what you're comparing yourself to is something that's above you. I don't know how else to say it. I don't want to sound like a douchebag, but make sure that you're not comparing it to something lower, because that doesn't ever get you moving. It doesn't ever allow you to grow. You want to strive towards things. Now, so like I said, I don't want to sound like a douchebag, but there's multiple points to this, right? So yes, compare yourself to shit that's grandiose. Feel small. That's okay. Have some humility, right? That doesn't mean fucking hate yourself. That doesn't mean feel like you're a piece of shit. That doesn't mean feel like you're a loser. That doesn't mean feel like you have nothing to give or nothing to offer. I am 100% strong in my capabilities. I'm 100% confident in my capabilities and what I have to bring to the table. And the way that I see that shit is I know that if Andy Frisella can do it, so can I. I know that if Ed Milet can do it, so can I. I know if my neighbor can do it, so can I, right? I know if my buddy that makes twice as much as me can do it, so can I. And yeah, I feel a little bit smaller than them, right? And I have that humility, and that's a little bit of like, sometimes you got to swallow that. But I use that as fuel to push myself forward and live every fucking day that I have and every fucking day that I can as optimal as possible to get to the life that I want to live my dream lifestyle.
Solid. And it's like you said, everybody compares. You're going to compare yourself, it's about mindset. So you can compare yourself to Janet, who's drinking, 5 sodas a day, overweight, has, nothing, and be like, oh, I'm doing pretty good.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm better than Janet.
Yeah, I'm doing better than Janet. I have whatever BMI. Like, I might be overweight, but I'm not as bad as blah, blah, blah. But that's not the mindset that you want to be in. You want to have and strive to the big fish, So set goals, attainable goals to get there. Do the things that they do, like Tyler was saying, Andy isn't partying every weekend. He's not celebrating. I mean, he probably celebrates some victories, but, I see people partying every single weekend.
That motherfucker could be on a yacht every day on a different island every single day of his life, and he never even vacations. Right? I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not saying don't enjoy your life. He enjoys that. That's enjoying life to him, right? He's found enjoyment in winning. He's found enjoyment. His business is his family, right? So that's his winning. He'd rather do that than sit on an island, right? But yeah, that's the whole thing, man. And one thing that I was thinking of when you were saying that, if I can butt in real quick.
No, you're good.
Is this, I wish I would have known this concept earlier, because what I hear this a lot is when they're the young kids on the block. And to any of you guys listening, they're the young kids on the block, right? I use this excuse for years of like, oh, for my age, I'm doing amazing. I'm doing better than everybody else for my age. I'm in my 20s. I just bought a fucking brand new house. I'm 24, 25 years old. It's about $250,000 house. I got money in the bank. Man, most people my age don't even have, still live with their parents, right? Or live in an apartment, right? So I'm killing it. I'm above everybody else, right? That's the problem. That's the whole
that's where you stunt yourself.
Yeah, that's the whole egotistical mindset of I am better than everybody else. If I would have fucking, and that's when you get complacent, right? And I got complacent for years, right? In my 20s, I started my first company at 21 years old. I've been doing this 13 years. I got complacent, right? And had I not got complacent, had I kept myself in check and humble and said, man, dude, just fucking Google millionaires in their 20s. I don't even know them, but I guarantee you there's tons of them. So if you're in your 20s and you feel like you're doing great, Google millionaires in their 20s. There's probably fucking kids in their 20s that have made 20, 30 million, 40, 50 million, more than I've even got right now in their 20s. And then you eat a fucking little bit of humble shit sandwich and say, oh, fuck, man, I ain't shit. But guess what? If he can do it, so can I. So how do I get there? Right? I wish I would have kept that hunger, because guess what? Now I have that hunger now. But here's the problem. I'm no longer the young kid on the block. I'm not. I'm in my 30s now. I'm in mid-30s. I am not the young kid on the block anymore.
He's got a birthday coming up too.
Yeah. So now I'm comparing myself to people in my age, and I don't know what I said, my age.
Range.
In my age range, and they're a lot closer to me than they were in my 20s. You know? And I'm still doing well, but not well enough for where I want to be. And had I kept that hunger, had I kept this mindset and compared myself to, instead of thinking that I'm the fucking shit, compared myself to people that are doing better than me so I can stay hungry, stay consistent, and keep growing, I'd be way farther along now than I am. That's just real talk. It's just real shit. So I think we'll leave it at that, man. Like I said, it's not going to be a very long podcast, but very fucking powerful, man. If you can't get something out of that mindset change, then you weren't fucking listening, because this is the key. This is one of the major keys to success. This is one of the major keys to staying consistent. This is one of the major keys to growing. This is one of the major keys to not being stagnant. So make sure that when we're comparing our success, and again, this is not just all money. This can be money. It can be job. It can be business. It can be leadership. It can be parenting. It can be, husband. It can be fitness, physical fitness, right? I walk into the gym and I look better than 90. This is another great one right here, right? Physical fitness. I walk into the gym, I'm bigger and look better than 90% of the people in there, right? Now, if I walk onto a stage though, so I walk into the gym, I'm bigger and look better than 90% of the people in there. I feel pretty fucking good, right? Feel good, right? Maybe I don't need to work as hard because I'm doing pretty fucking good. I look better than most of these guys, right? Now, take this perspective change. Now I hop onto an NPC bodybuilding stage. 99.99% of every single one of them look better than I do, right? Then I'm sitting there going, oh, fuck, dude, I got a long ways to go. I'm a fat ass, like, holy shit, these guys are 4, 5, 6% body fat percentage. I'm sitting over here at 20. Like, holy fuck, right? That makes me want to be better. That makes me want to push harder. If I'm comparing myself to fucking Joe Blow in the gym next to me, then I'm doing pretty good, right? If I compare myself to an NPC professional bodybuilder, I got a long fucking ways to go, right? So this is all about perspective. This is all about how we see ourselves, right? You might not be able to find the time to hang out with your kids. Maybe you let work come before your kids, right? Then you hear a story about this guy that's living his dream job, working, traveling all across the world, or working from home with his family, and he's got 10 kids and he spends time with them every single day. Your neighbor lives the way you do. So your neighbor and your brother lives the way you do. So originally you're like, oh, fuck, this is normal. This is how life is. I don't really see my kids. I mean, the teachers are raising my kids. The babysitters are raising my kids. I see maybe 30 minutes before bed, but hey, I got to put food on the table. That's how everybody else does it. That's how my brother does it. That's how my neighbor does it. This is normal, right? I'm doing okay. Right? And then I hear the story about the guy with 10 kids that makes millions of dollars living his passion, working from home, and spends all kinds of time with his family. Then you look at that and you say, oh, fuck, maybe I'm not doing so good. Maybe I need to become a little bit better. Maybe I need to change my life. Maybe I need to be a better father, right? So it's all about perception. It's all about what we look at as success. So when we see something, what is success to you? And what are you comparing yourself to? Because it matters. And every single person is comparing themselves to something. If you're sitting here telling me you don't compare yourself to anything, you're fucking lying. Every single person in this world is comparing their success to something or somebody else. And it matters what that thing or person is. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been the Dads Who Live podcast. Again, please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We do this shit for free, guys. It's all that we ask of you. This is the token, right? If you could drop this token, give us a like, share, 5-star review. Share it on Apple. Share it on IG. Share the iTunes link, the YouTube. Share it on Facebook. Tell a friend. They tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing. We have apparel, www.dadswholiftapparel.com. dadtolift.com. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Apparel. We're on Facebook as Dads Who Lift Podcast. And we have a group of 53,000 like-minded dads trying to be the best selves and stay fit at the same time. Again, that is a group on Facebook called Dads Who Lift Official. Always excel, guys. Always grow. Always want more. Always strive to be more. Let's get after it.
They told me to lie when I get cocky. Ain't it funny how they think they can stop me? Try to be me, but I'm so sorry you not me. Try to be me.